Chapter 11 Video Lecture. Increased brain maturation allows for several cognitive accomplishments in middle childhood. Learning to read is considered one of the most important accomplishments of school-aged children. There isn't a specific part of the brain that is related to reading. Reading uses several parts of the brain and shows that there are elaborate neural connections. Children in middle childhood see advancements in social skills, including understanding whom to trust, figuring out what is fair, and interpreting ambiguous gestures and expressions. Increased myelinization reduces reaction time. This allows for advanced planning and impulse control. During middle childhood, children become better able to pay attention to certain stimuli and ignore others. This increased ability to pay attention helps the child learn in the classroom by allowing them to listen, take notes, and ignore distractions. Behaviors become routine during this stage of childhood. Things that once were effortful now are automatic. This creates a foundation for learning more sophisticated concepts because the basics don't take any effort. ADHD is a condition characterized by a persistent pattern of inattention and/or hyperactive or impulsive behaviors. Like other mental disorders, the symptoms need to interfere with the person's functioning to be diagnosed. The 9 inattentive symptoms are: often fails to give close attention to details or makes careless mistakes in schoolwork, work, or during other activities. Often has difficulties sustaining attention in task or play activities. Often does not seem to listen when spoken to directly. Often does not follow through on instructions and fails to finish schoolwork, chores, or duties in the workplace. Often has difficulty organizing tasks and activities. Often avoids or is reluctant to engage in tasks that require sustained mental effort. Often loses things necessary for tasks or activities. Is often easily distracted by extraneous stimuli. It is often forgetful in daily activities. The 9 hyperactive impulsive symptoms are: often fidgets with or taps hands or squirms in seat. Often leaves seat in situations when remaining seated is expected. Often runs about or climbs in situations where it is inappropriate. Often unable to play or engage in leisure activities quietly. Is often on the go, acting as if driven by a motor. Often talks excessively. Often blurts out answers before questions have been completed. Often has difficulty awaiting turn. Often interrupts or intrudes on others. One issue related to ADHD is misdiagnosis. Misdiagnosis is a problem because if a child has something other than ADHD, the drugs used for ADHD could actually exacerbate the symptoms. Another issue related to ADHD is that some students are seeking diagnosis for attention-focusing drugs. If you go to your GP and know what symptoms they are looking for in a diagnosis, it is quite possible that you could fake the symptoms well enough to get a prescription. The last issue has to do with what is considered pathological. Young children, especially boys, have high activity levels. What is really quite normal can be interpreted as a disorder by others. Young girls are more likely to have inattentive symptoms and are often not diagnosed. The diagnosis of specific learning disorder requires persistent difficulties in reading, writing, arithmetic, or mathematical reasoning skills during formal years of schooling. Symptoms may include inaccurate or slow or effortful reading, poor written expression that lacks clarity, difficulties remembering number facts, or inaccurate mathematical reasoning. Dyslexia is an unusual difficulty with reading. Symptoms include reading well below the expected level for your child's age, problems processing and understanding what he or she hears, difficulty comprehending rapid instructions, problems remembering the sequence of things, difficulty seeing and occasionally hearing similarities and differences in letters and words, inability to sound out the pronunciation of an unfamiliar word, difficulty spelling, trouble learning a foreign language. When a teacher or trained professional evaluates a student for learning disabilities in math, the student is interviewed about a full range of math-related skills and behaviors. Pencil and paper math tests are often used, but an evaluation needs to accomplish more. It is meant to reveal how a person understands and uses numbers and math concepts to solve advanced level as well as everyday problems. The evaluation compares a person's expected and actual levels of skill and understanding while noting the person's specific strengths and weaknesses. The following are some of the areas that may be addressed. Ability with basic math skills like counting, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Ability to predict appropriate procedures based on understanding patterns, knowing when to add, subtract, multiply, divide, or do more advanced computations. Ability to organize objects in a logical way. Ability to measure. Ability to estimate number quantities. Ability to self-check work and find alternative ways to solve problems. Autism spectrum disorder is a developmental disorder marked by difficulty with social communication and interaction, including difficulty seeing things from another person's point of view, and restricted repetitive patterns of behavior, interest, or activities. Some children never speak, rarely smile, and often play for hours with one object. Others are extremely talented in specialized areas, what we consider to be high functioning. All individuals with autism have impairment in social interactions.